Okay, so Will has got to this point where he's imagined his birthday, his 50th birthday, without drink. Didn't really want to think it. The thought came out and grew. And then after a few days, this is in December, his birthday's in the middle of January. After a few days of just enjoying the idea of one day, his birthday, his 50th being sober, that might be kind of cool or fun. And then that kind of grew to question, you started to question, well, I've done drinking for 40 years, 35 years, and you started to question, well, okay, so I'm quite into this idea of one day, this birthday coming up, being kind of sober, and then you started to question this whole thing, which, a series of these videos were saying my life started getting better when I started drinking, which wasn't ironic. That was kind of true for Will. His life improved when he started drinking. It did lots of things for him. But age 50, or just coming up to 50, you started to think, yeah, well, okay, I've done lots of drinking. I really like this idea of this sober birthday in a pub. Yeah. You started to question the whole thing.
Yeah, I started to question, whether drink and me as a relationship was in its final stage. That I was ready to embrace something new, and I think the thing was that I absolutely knew that the idea of cutting down, I knew wasn't really an option in this area, because I had this catastrophic falling off the wagon when I had successfully cut down. We touched on this before, and this sort of second part of what I thought in terms of my addressing this whole sobriety thing was that if I have a drink, just one, I know where that will lead.
Okay.
I mean that because I've done it before.
Yeah.
And then it was just one of those things that I just had to say to myself. It's just an inner knowledge, really, more than anything else, that it just isn't an option. Because I know what happens when that switch from wanting to embrace something new, the sobriety thing, which we might talk in more detail, but once that's gone, that's completely, the switch is lost. I mean, you can't just you can't find the switch again.
Yeah.
It's not a question of choice. You just don't know where to start. It's lost. And that happens with one drink, because to have one drink means that you might as well have a million drinks, not just because you will end, that's what will happen, is because the mindset that says one drink is the mindset that says I want one drink. Is so different. It's so radically different from I want to be sober. I want one drink is just a different language. Once you've said that to yourself, all bets are off.
And just to clarify that Will wasn't a sort of dead in the gutter drunk. No. In that sense, his life. He was managing his life, managing his girlfriend, managing himself. Not, your liver was, I guess, in fairly good order. The doctor wasn't saying there wasn't huge trauma. So, but he was still getting this concept, somehow developing this concept. Okay, one drink. As you say very well, wanting the one drink is faulty. It's destructive for you. So what's it going to be? Is it going to be the wanting that one drink, or is it going to be this sense of, my birthday, for instance, or a life, even maybe sober life? That could be that, and that's new. So you've got this new sober life, which is a possibility and quite interesting, or you've got this wanting the one drink, which is problematic, is desire. That's the thing. But that decision, that choice, came not from being totally desperate, not from being made to or forced to. It just came from that. I mean, that's the thing that I find. I've yet to find somebody out there that
let's go on this path. I feel. I mean, I'm struggling because it tends to be the kind of the rock bottom Alcoholics Anonymous type setup. All the many books that you see out there. You know, I was in the gutter. I drank every minute of every second of my life, and I was on 14 bottles of vodka an hour. And I was at death's door, and now look at me now. I'm a yoga teacher and life therapist, and I'm making millions, and you could be the same.
Yes.
How many books are there on the shelves that this sort of enormous, and they make great stories. Yeah. You know, they are great books if well told. Mine's not a great story at all. It's a very dull story, but I think it's, you know, it mirrors what so many people are doing in their drinking. They haven't hit that rock bottom. They've got no reason. Their therapist hasn't said to them, "Oh, you know what? You carry on."
And wouldn't go to therapy. Many self-respecting drinkers would never go to therapy because there's not a problem.
There's not a problem. How can you address your problem if you don't have a problem?
That's it, which we talked about in another video.
Yeah.
So you got to the stage where you started to think, okay, if I have a drink, if I want to drink, that's one whole thing. If I'm sober, that's another thing. The sober is new, interesting. What's it like? What would that be like, sober? Or I've got the wanting one drink, which means wanting a million drinks, which means drinking, which is the old life. And you somehow had that. You realised you had a choice or an opportunity, experiment.
Yeah. I mean, I think I realised it was the end of the road of my drinking. I don't think I saw it as an experiment. You know, I think what was interesting for me was that once I'd seen this version of me, this non-drinking version, which just came as an apparition at the start. Once that started to take hold of it, I can honestly say that that became desirable.
Yes,
and it's the desire for that life, for that me, that version of me, that then took over, and it was a battle between the desire for sobriety and the desire for drink, and desire for drink had always won. Yeah, and in fact, it was so compelling, it was so threatening that the desire for sobriety, as you just walked out of the room, it was never there. There was never a contest. Now suddenly, the desire for sobriety was in the room, and they were facing off each other in a sense. And I was going through this in my head. Do I want to carry on drinking the rest of my life? Do I not? You know, and I actually, there was a really compelling case for both sides. And this is where the debate in my head in that December sort of led. And that's when the second part, this sort of mantra thing that I kind of go on about. I know what will happen if I let the drinking carry on. Yeah. I know it will just go on and on and on and on relentlessly. Yeah. I've done that. Yeah. I've done this for so long.
So you got to a point where you saw through it. It was the old life. It had its reasons or whatever, but you saw through it. You saw it as pointless or just old-fashioned
or just boring.
Boring. So boredom in the end. Boredom made you really have
and complication, and there were some complications, as I mentioned. Getting in trouble at work, getting in trouble with my relationship. These were definitely they were drivers.
There were enough pressures.
They were drivers.
There were enough pressures, and there was the boredom, and there was the inspiration of sobriety. So all those things coming together.
They came together, and that's when I kind of thought, how can, a good way to deal with this would be to set a date. Set a date by which I'll make a decision. And on that date, I'll decide.
So you make a date for deciding.
Deciding, yeah.
So you decide to make a date for when you're going to decide.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.